Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining in, and let's get started with the prayers. Chant me along with me. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nidinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Bhashya Dadeshadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome to this series on Navadha Bhakti that we have been discussing. And today we'll be discussing yet another very important aspect of this Navadha Bhakti, which is Vandanam, offering the prayers to the Lord. So let's get started with recitation of this verse from the 7th canto. And we have been already discussing this. So repeat after me, and those who are joining online, you can repeat on the mute. Shri Prahlada Vacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Badasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dashyam Sakhyam Atmanevedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhakti Chennavalakshana Kriyade Bhagavati Yadha Tanmanye Adidamuttamam. So this is the verse that we have been talking. So there are 9 items: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Narchanam, and Vandanam. So today we're discussing on Vandanam. Vandanam means offering the prayers. So Akrurji is explained, it is said that Akrurji is the Acharya for Vandanam. Of course, we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, practically every devotee is offering the prayers, including Brahmaji, Prahlad Maharaj, Kunti Maharani, Dhruv Maharaj, everyone. But still, it has been explained that Akrurji is the Acharya for that because his prayers are very specific and unique. So we'll try to dive a little deep into understanding this. What is this phenomena of prayer? Why one should pray? How one should pray? What we should pray? And all those aspects and different ways of praying and all of that. So one thing we should understand that prayers are the universal language to communicate the human heart with the Supreme Lord, with the divine heart. And there's no way that you can communicate with the Lord. So this is the mean by which we can express our heart, right? And you'll see that this urge to pray is pray to someone higher than us is found. It's like a universal phenomena. Even those who are atheistic also, they also turn towards someone when they're in need of some help, going through some crisis. They may not turn towards God, but still they look for someone to help, right? And those who are little devoted, little pious people, and they'll go and pray to the Lord. So this urge is very natural for anyone to turn towards someone who is higher than them, to seek some help, some guidance, something like that, right? Because human heart long to connect with something higher. That is very natural. And how to connect? So the means of connecting with something higher is the means of offering the prayers. Okay. So now when we talk about this offering prayers, it is said that when men work, then men work. But when man prays, then God works. So that is the power of offering the prayers. So when you pray, then there is a divine hand is also extended to help you, to guide you. Krishna says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Krishna will give you the intelligence. He will give you the strength or whatever is required, as we already discussed. Krishna says that Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. I'll provide what you lack and preserve what you have. So these are the promises. But one should go and extend the heart, express the heart that I need your help. I'm here at your shelter. So the prayer is the mean to do that. And one time, Srila Prabhupada actually, when he was with some disciples, and Prabhupada made a statement. Prabhupada says that I'm not fearful of Maya. Maya means the illusory energy of this world. Maya cannot touch me. And that was quite impressive that disciples were happy. Oh, yeah, Prabhupada, we know your position. You're a pure devotee. Maya can definitely cannot touch you. And then after that, Prabhupada came to the temple. And then when the darshan was open and Prabhupada bowed down, offer his obeisances, and with folded hands, Prabhupada is standing in front of the deities and offering some prayers. So this devotee was quite intrigued and curious to know that what Prabhupada prays when he prays. Right. So he asked Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, what are you praying to the Lord? Prabhupada says, I was praying to the Lord that, Lord, please bless me that I should not be affected by the Maya. So this devotee got confused. He says, like, he said that Maya cannot touch me. And now he's praying that Maya should not touch me. What is this? So he asked this question to seek clarification. And Prabhupada says, because I'm praying to Krishna that Maya should not touch me, that is why I'm confident that Maya cannot touch me. So that is the power of prayer. If you have that intense in the mood of the prayer and then have the faith, the Lord will provide me what I'm asking for the service of the Lord. So that is the power of the prayer. In general, also, like the saying that they say that family which prays together stays together. Nowadays, unfortunately, families are not staying together. They cannot stay together. So-called staying together also, they are not together. On the same dining table, if four people are sitting, there will be in their own world. Four people in their own mobile, there's another world parallelly in their mobile phones. And nobody talks there. They might be talking on Facebook to some friends, but they doesn't talk to each other there. Right. So people are not staying together. There is a problem. So one quick fix or simple solution is this, that the scriptures guides that one should spend some time together as a family. And the best time can be spent with the family is praying together. Can be done in so many ways. One can chant one round of Hare Krishna mantra as a family, husband, wife, kids, together, spend some 10 minutes along with the Lord, or chant, or do some kirtan, or read some book like Gita, Bhagavatam, 10-15 minutes before you go to bed. There has to be some family time. And that is the best way to have the family time along with the Supreme Lord. So, and mostly, generally, in general, what happens, people understand that we should pray. But when people go and pray, when there is some difficulty, when there is some problem in life, right? People use prayers as some spare wheel. When it is needed, you will use it. But what we need to understand is these prayers should not be used as a spare wheel, but it should be used as steering wheel. Means prayer should guide, go and pray to the Lord every day. The Lord, please guide me, please help me. And like that, and Lord will give you the intelligence and the guidance and the strength to live your life. Not that everything is going well, and then when there is a problem, then you turn toward the Lord. And after that, problem is solved, you forget. That is what is the common phenomena that we see in people. So they use the Lord, or they use the prayers as Lord is like some kind of a order carrier. That is something is needed now. I'm in problem. Please, can you get me this? It is done. Okay, now you take rest. Don't worry, I'll manage rest of the things. That is not the way. So what we'll be understanding today, that how to pray. Now the prayer can be done in three different modes, and not only three, actually four. So prayers can be done in mode of ignorance, prayer can be done in passion or goodness, or the topmost is transcendental prayers. So prayer in ignorance, like somebody is in tamogun, how does he pray? So the people who is influenced by ignorance, they'll pray for others' destruction. Oh Lord, this person did this to me. Can you teach him a lesson? I am not able to do anything, but you teach him a lesson. I am your devotee. That is a prayer in ignorance. Or sometimes people pray out of fear. Oh, this problem, that problem, let me just go. So that is called like prayer in ignorance, the lowest level of offering the prayers. The next level is prayer in passion. Passion means very passionate people. Their prayers are all about, for their selfish interest. And I want this, I want that, and so many things, long list. And they're ready to even go to any extent of taking some austerities, some hardships, and all of that. But their interest is somehow or other, if I can get this. Lord can help me. Like we have the examples in the scriptures. Example is like the Ravan. He did a lot of tapasya. He was a devotee of Lord Shiva. In fact, we saw the example of Hiranyakashipu. He also did a lot of tapasya and offering prayers and to Brahmaji like that. But what they want some selfish selfish agenda, and then they want to control over the people around. So those kind of prayers are seen as prayers in the mode of passion. In fact, there is a worship by one demon, Bhamasura. He worshipped Lord Shiva and then got the benediction in terms of some power that if he touches somebody's head, then immediately that head will just burst and that person will be finished. So after receiving this benediction from Lord Shiva, immediately wanted to try on Lord Shiva himself because he was fascinated by the wife of Lord Shiva, Parvati. Says, now I have the power, I can finish Shiva and I can enjoy Parvati. So that is all demonic mentality, right? So there's a like passion. And then, so out of desire, like people want this, that, some power, position, control, and all of that. So that is in the mode of passion. And then prayers can be done in the mode of goodness. Mode of goodness means that you can pray for others, not being very selfish, but you can pray for the well-being of others. It can be family, friends, society, or nation. You will see the people. In general, they're very good-hearted people. They're in goodness. They'll pray for others. So that is also another kind of prayer, you know. And then the topmost prayer is the transcendental prayer. Transcendental prayer means you go and pray to the Lord out of love. And that will be spending a little time today to understand what are these transcendental prayer mean. And that is what is the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and all the scripture that teach us that what we should be praying. It should not be driven by fear, desire, or duty, but it should be driven by the love. And you go to the Lord and you pray out of love. And when you are in love with someone, then what kind of prayers you should do? So that is what we are aspiring. We are not aspiring for anything, asking some material things, some other desires, which is also okay to ask, but that is not the best way to ask or best thing to ask from the Lord. So we are talking about in the highest level, which is the prayers which is driven by the love. Okay. So now these prayers can be done on a 4 level. So initially I'll talk about the 3 level, and then at the end I'll explain another 4th one. So we can technically call them the different names. So the level 1, it is called Samprarthanika prayers. Samprarthanika means basically is a part of all prayers. Now we are talking about the prayers exclusively. So Samprarthanika means glorifying the Supreme Lord. So this is the art we should learn from the Bhagavatam, that how to offer the prayers. Simply just you go and you say, I want this, I want that, and that's all. No, that is not the way to pray to the Lord. First thing is you should glorify the Lord. So it is just like there are 3 levels actually. One is Samprarthanika, and then Dhanabodhika and Lalsamai. Dhanabodhika means you also express that you just become humble and express your gratitude. You say that, my dear Lord, like I'm insignificant. I'm so grateful. And out of humility, you just go and pray to the Lord. And then, so first you glorify the Lord, and then you express your own position that I am insignificant. I'm humble. I'm very grateful. Whatever you have given me, I'm so grateful about all of that. So that is Dhanya Bodhika, that you become humble in front of the Lord. And then the third step is Lalasamai. Lalasamai means then you ask what you want. And that also we'll understand in today's discussion, that what you should ask. Right. So first thing is glorification, Samprarthanika. Second is being humble, because when you go in front of someone, some big man, and then first thing what you do is like you glorify, oh, you are so great, I heard a lot about you. You keep helping the people, you help this person, that person, so much glories I heard. The person feel good, okay, he knows a little bit about me. And then he say, but I am so insignificant, I'm so poor, I have nothing. And like you express your situation, you're not like you are great man, but I am also not less great. I'm also equally great, but still I'm asking you to favor you. If you want to give me something, nobody will willing to give you. So when you become humble, you know, in a very humble, submissive mood, you go and say, I'm so insignificant, I have nothing. If you don't help me, then what will happen to me? I need your help. And then Lord says, okay, what help? And then comes Lalasamai. Then you express that what you want exactly. So this is the way. So how we pray is, first you go in front of the Lord, then we start glorifying the Lord. Now, how to glorify the Lord? There is a way. The Lord can be glorified in 4 different ways. So this is called Nam, Roop, Gun, and Leela. We can glorify Lord's name. Lord's name, that we understand the glories of the holy name. That, my dear Lord, your name itself is so potent and so powerful. You know, there's so much Shakti, Nam Akari Bahudan is Sarva Shakti, that you invested, all your potencies in the name. Your name itself is so powerful. So like that you can uh, glorify. Nam Sankirtana Yasha Sarva Papa Pranashanam. That is the glory of the holy name. That Krishna's holy name is Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Right? Okay, so I don't have the PPT to share. Okay. So like that, we can glorify Lord's name. And also, we are talking about the glorification, then comes to Lord's form. When you go in front of the Lord and look at the beautiful form of the Lord, and then we glorify. Now, sometimes if we don't know that how to glorify Lord's form, or you're looking beautiful, like in the modern age, all kinds of language is all messed up. We say, oh, you're looking cool. Like we don't call the Lord that you're looking cool or something like that. But there's a way to glorify that how Lord is looking. So beautiful. So his beauty has been explained in the scriptures. So we can, if we don't know how to glorify, we can just, like a parrot, you can just recite those verses, just memorize. And also you can learn the meaning of those verses, so that when you are reciting those verses, the glorification of the form of the Lord, you can also meditate at how it is. Venum Gunantam Arvind Dalayataaksham Parhavatam Samasitambudh Sundarangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So like that, this is the glorification. The Lord, you are looking so beautiful, all attractive, even millions of cupids, the Kamdev, they cannot match. Millions of them together, put together, some total beauty of them cannot match your beauty. You're holding this flute and, decorating your hair with this marhavadams and the peacock feather, and you're wearing this dhoti, yellow color, and very shining brilliantly, like that, your earrings. And like that, a lot of glorifications are given in the scriptures. So we can talk like Kunti Maharani also glorify the Lord Krishna. She says, Namo Pankajanaavaya, Namo Pankajamaline, Namo Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. So that is how she is glorifying the Lord's form. That Namo Pankajanabhaya, Namo Pankajamaline, that your mala, that your garland, it's so beautiful like the lotus. She is comparing with the lotus, because now there is no comparison of anything in this world with the Lord's beauty. But why lotus is being used? Because that is one thing within our reach, within our experience, which is very attractive and very beautiful. And we try to compare whatever best beautiful thing we know. We say, oh, your eyes look like the lotus eyes. Nama Pankaja Netraya, Nama Pankaja Maline, Nama Pankaja Angraye. Your feet are like lotus feet. So like that, we can glorify. So we are talking about the glorification. The first step of offering the prayers is glorification. So we glorify Lord's name, the glories of Lord's name, Lord's form. And there's another beautiful actually prayer which explains the form of Krishna. By hearing that words from Srimad Bhagavatam, this Shukdev Goswami, before he actually came to narrate the Srimad Bhagavatam, he was an impersonalist. And when he heard this prayer, which basically glorify Krishna's beauty, and he got fascinated, and whole of his conception changed. From impersonalist, he became personalist, means, say, who is this person? So beautiful, so attractive. So that is the form of the Lord. So it says, Barhapidam Natavarabapu Karnayor Karnikaram Vibradvaja Kanakakabisham Vajantim Chamalam Randran Venoradar Sudayor Apuryan Gopavrande Vrindaranyam Supadaramnam Prabhishat Gita Kirtihi. So like that, one woodcutter was singing this words from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and this Shukdev Goswami heard this verse, and he got so fascinated because he understood the meaning. Say, who is this person so beautiful? Barha Pidam Natavara Bapu. Barha Pidam means who is holding, like who is decorating his hair with the peacock feather. Natavara Bapu, standing in like in dancing pose. Krishna is always, he never stands straight. He is always Trivangi form, like always dancing. Nadavar Vapu, Karna Yor Karnikaram. and putting some earrings, which is like alligator shaped earrings, beautifully attractive earrings. So like that, he glorifies. So that is how we can glorify the Lord. We can learn some of those verses. There's many, many more verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but full of glorification of the Supreme Lord. So one can learn those verses and then offer those prayers, and then that is how you can glorify the name and the form. And then third is the qualities. Krishna is ocean of qualities, right? So find some qualities and then offer those, glorify the Lord. Like when you go and meet some important person. So, sir, you are so intelligent and you're so nice, you're so kind-hearted, you're so charitably disposed. Something you'll talk about that person, some good qualities, and the person feels happy. So similarly, Krishna is the ocean of qualities. He is Gunarnava. Arnava means the ocean. He is the ocean of Guna. Guna means the qualities. So we offer, we remember, we recite some of those verses which explains Krishna's qualities like that, right? Like simple prayer that we chant every day. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho, Deen Bandho Jagatpathe, Gopesh Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostude. Now this simple verse, but full of Krishna's qualities. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho. What is the quality of Krishna? Is the ocean of Karuna. He is very, very kind, compassionate. So that is the quality of the Lord. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho, Deen Bandhu. My dear Lord, you are Deen Bandhu. You are the savior of all the poor, all the needy people in this world. Deen Bandhu, Jagat Pate. You are the Lord of this entire Jagat. You are not some ordinary person. Deen Bandhu, Jagat Pate, Gopesh, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kant. So like that, these are all wonderful qualities in just one verse. So many qualities. You just chant one verse and you are glorifying the Lord by remembering all his qualities like that. Right? So like that, many, many qualities are there. But in one of the verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam, actually, this Dhruv Maharaj, he actually explains one of the qualities of Krishna. He says, Sarva Saundarya Sangraham, that Lord has the Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. Sangraham means collection of all the wonderful qualities. One of the name of Krishna is like that. Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. Now, when we read carefully, then we understand what is that Sarva Saundarya? What is which makes Krishna the most attractive? We can talk about that, but in this particular context, one of the quality of Krishna, which has been glorified through this word, Sarva Saundarya Sangraham, is what makes Krishna so beautiful. One of the quality of Krishna that makes him really attractive. And what is that quality? That he never misses the chance to give credit to his devotee, to glorify his devotees. Like we have the example of Arjuna. Everything was planned by Krishna and practically done by Krishna. But who was the man of the match? Arjuna. He gave credit to Arjuna. And Lord Ramchandra, he gave credit to Hanumanji. So Lord's quality to always find an opportunity to glorify his devotee is the greatest quality, which makes Lord very, very beautiful. So one is like the physical beauty, but another beauty is you are beautiful by your qualities. And that is what we glorify. And that is what we see even in the Damodar Leela also, that how Yashoda Mai is running behind Krishna and Krishna is scared. And then there, Shukdev Goswami actually explains he summarized the whole pastime at this verse, says, Evam Sandarshita Hyanga Harina Bhratta Vashyata. That this Krishna's, this unique quality of Bhratya Vashyata. Bhratya means the servant or devotee. So one great quality of Krishna is Bhratya Vashyata, like he comes under the control of his devotees. His devotee controls him. Where you will find such quality, like somebody is a very powerful person, very famous person, very important person. He controls everyone. Everybody has to listen to him. But here is a person who is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasya, Shriya, Jnana, Vairagya, full of all the six opulences. And that person is Mrityavashada, controlled by Yashodamai, scared by Yashodamai's small stick in the hand. So this is the quality of Krishna which is not found in any other personality. So this quality we can glorify the Lord. You are so kind-hearted. you're so compassionate, you love your devotees so much that you are ready to come under their control. So like that we can glorify Krishna's qualities like that, and many verses from the Kunti Maharani prayers. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devgi Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So like that Kunti Maharani glorifies the qualities of Krishna. Right? So Nam, Roop, Gun, name, form, pastimes. Sorry, the qualities. And the fourth item, fourth way of glorifying is Leela. Krishna's wonderful pastimes that you can remember. You can say something from those pastimes that, my dear Lord, like Damodar Leela, such a beautiful pastime that you are controlled by your devotee. Wow, it's so fascinating. So, like you can remember, you can glorify the Lord. Right? That is why the Rupa Goswami in his Padyavali, he says this, that aho bhir nakale vishu viduyate sudha sudhara maduram pade pade dine dine chandan chandra shitale yasho yashoda taniyasya giyate. That one should every day hear. What you should hear? Yasho. Yash means the fame, the glories of whom? Yasho, Yashoda Tanaya, who is the son of Yashoda, which is Krishna. Yasho, Yashoda, Taniyasya Giyate. One should sing Gana, Giyate. Every day you should talk about Krishna's Leela, some of the pastimes. That is why every day evening, 8:30 to 8:45, we read this Krishna book on the Zoom call. I conduct that call. So there we read Krishna's stories, Krishna's pastimes. Every day it should be. And what will happen says, Aho bir nakaler viduyate. If you hear daily Krishna Katha, Krishna's Leela, then nakaler viduyate. That influence of this Kali will not be able to touch you. Right? Sudha Sudhara Maduram Pade Pade. And this pastime, this Leela of Krishna, they're like Sudha, they're like the nectar, they're like sweet like nectar, like honey. Madhuram Pade Pade. Every word, everything that hear about that Leela, it is very sweet like nectar. So one should hear those nectarian pastimes and then dine dine chandana chandra sitale. So when you hear, you feel that cooling sensation. Because in this material world, you hear this burning, sansara dava, nala lida loka. The influence of Kali Yuga is burning our heart. This problem, that problem, relational issues, financial issues, health issues, and so many varieties of issues. Constantly our heart is burning. There's no coolness in the heart. Now what is the way? So one should Yasho Yashoda Tanya Shagiyate. One should hear glories of Yashoda Tanaya. Krishna's glories, Krishna's Leela. So that is what it is. So we can hear those pastimes. So beautiful pastimes. Even Brahmaji was amazed to see that. And Brahmaji, after Brahma Brahmohan Leela, when he came and he saw that who is this small boy, 5, 6-year-old boy, and the entire Vrindavan is enchanted by this boy. Who is this? And then he glorifies actually the good fortune of Yashodamai and Nanda Maharaj. He says, Aho Bhagyam, Nanda Gop Brajokasam, Yan Mitram Paramanandam, Purnam Brahma Sanatanam. He glorifies that Aho Bhagyam, that what a good fortune that you got. Nanda Gopa Brajokasam, that Nanda Maharaj, who is a Gopa in the Braja, that Yan Mitram Paramanandam, Purnam Brahma, that Purna Brahma Sanatana, the Supreme Lord, Lord of the universe. He is like you are controlling, on your fingers. So what is a good fortune that you have got? So these are all beautiful pastimes which touches the heart of a devotee. If we hear that, otherwise your heart is filled with all kinds of anxieties, all kinds of rubbish things, constantly burning. There's no peace. And that is what happens. So what is the way out? We should hear those pastimes and discuss. And first, when we go, and we glorify. So that is the first part of these prayers, that when we go to the Lord, how you pray? You glorify the Lord. So how you glorify the Lord? You glorify the name, form, qualities, and the pastimes, the Leela. Now, why we should glorify the Lord? Does the Lord need the glorification? Actually speaking, Lord doesn't need any glorification. And if he needs also, he has wonderful, great devotees who has been glorifying him since time immemorial. The scriptures explain that Ananta Shesh, that snake bad, Ananta Shesh, with innumerable hoots, his mouth, he has been glorifying the glories of the Lord since time immemorial, and is not coming to an end. So much glories. He's constantly glorifying, glorifying, glorifying. So Lord doesn't need our glorification. But when we glorify the Lord, that glorification brings the purification for ourselves. So we becomes purified by glorifying the Supreme Lord. That is why one should glorify the Lord. Right now, to glorify the Lord, one should take a very humble position. Somebody is too proud and thinks, "Oh, I'm so great," and all that. That person cannot really glorify the Lord. So that is when you need the second item, which is Danyabodhika. Danyabodhika means that taking that humble stand. And also express that desperation in need, that I need your help. I'm so humble. And then also I'm very grateful. So humility, gratitude, and accepting your humble position. That is the uh, second step of prayers. So first is glorification. Second is being humble, being grateful. If you are not humble, then you cannot glorify, and then you are not qualified to receive the mercy of the Lord. So this is the first of the qualification to receive the blessings and the mercy of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Tranadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna." One should be humbler than the blade of grass, and then one should be tolerant like a tree. These are the two essential qualifications. If you're thinking of uh, continuing your spiritual life and progressing in your spiritual life. So humility and tolerance. So this humility is one of the most essential quality actually. When we become humble, it melts the heart of the Lord. One time, this one disciple of Ramanujacharya, when he was walking in the forest and he saw one hunter trying to kill a rabbit. He was like aiming to shoot a rabbit. And then suddenly when that rabbit, a small rabbit, when he saw, so he didn't understand how to escape now. And then he just came running at the feet of this hunter and started licking the feet of that hunter. And then by seeing something happened, that this Parashar Bhatt, the disciple of Ramanujacharya's heart actually melted. So what happened, as soon as this rabbit came and he started licking the feet of this hunter who generally is very cruel hearted, he just gave up his bow and arrow because he came and surrendered, became humble, catching hold of your feet. So that is the power of being humble. When we go to the Lord in utter humility, then it melts the heart of the Lord Himself. And actually, there is a incident in the Chaitanya Charitamrita when Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they are great devotees, very humble. And when they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this verse, he says, I don't remember the verse, it is in Bengali. It's something like Fate Maraman. Like he says, "My dear Rupa and Sanatana, please give up your humility. Your humility is melting my heart. I'm not able to tolerate this. So much humble. They're so humble. The Lord is saying that due to this humility, my heart is melting. I'm not able to tolerate. Don't be this much humble." So the humility has the power to melt the heart of the Lord. So that is why one should become very humble, right? And then also, along with humble, one should be very, very grateful. And not only just we should glorify the Supreme Lord, and one should try to glorify the Lord's devotees also. Like when we are in a devotee community, glorify the Lord. Devotees also, we appreciate somebody is doing some nice service, nice seva, somebody is good into something. Then this is in Vaishnava etiquette that we appreciate, we glorify, not like some kind of a buttering, but genuinely that you appreciate, developing that gratitude, that appreciation, that needs little humility. Right. So these are all very important principles that we should learn, and this is very much part of these prayers. That one should become humble, one should become grateful. So grateful, how to become grateful and when to become grateful? They say that one who is not grateful, he is a great fool. So we don't want to become grateful. We want to remain grateful. Right. Grateful means he thinks that, oh no, I know everything. I can do everything. So no, that is not the reality. We should become humble. We should understand that whatever I am in this world, I might be a very powerful person. But in front of the Lord, what is my position? I'm insignificant, utterly insignificant. So we should not just do some lip service like you're talking all that, but one should genuinely feel that. And that is the sign of a spiritual advancement. The more the devotee advances in the spiritual path, more he feels himself insignificant. If somebody thinks that no, 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 I'm great, that is a sign of ignorance, immaturity. More one advances spiritually, more he becomes humble. Naturally, genuinely he feels humble. Like Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, the great devotee who has composed this Chaitanya Charitamrita, the whole life and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he says that, my dear Lord, I'm not qualified to, to write about you, to glorify you. What is my position? And then he's saying that I am worse than the worm in the stool. I'm not even equal to that worm in the stool. And now it's not like just to impress someone is talking all this. It's all genuinely, it comes in their heart. That is how they feel because they're very advanced spiritually. So this is one of the symptom of spiritual advancement is that devotee will become humble. And this humility is one of the great quality. And then also one should be grateful and grateful in all situations, specifically the four situations. So glorification, we talk about the four items. You should glorify the name, the form, the qualities, and the pastimes of the Lord. Now, gratitude also in four situations, we should be grateful. One thing is in all kinds of prosperity. When you have enough, you have so much, you're very intelligent and you are powerful, something like God has given you, then one should be very, very grateful. One should not think that, oh, I have done this, I have earned this, I'm very powerful, I'm very smart, I'm very intelligent. People generally think like that. But one should be very, very grateful in prosperity. And that is how even the Kunti Maharani, actually, she glorifies in her prayers. She says, Neyam Sovishyate Tatra Yate Dhanim Gadadhara Tatpaderan Bhati Swalakshana Vilakshitai. So she's saying, oh Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impression of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful, but when you leave, it will no longer be so. So after the battle, everything was prosperous. So she is glorifying this prosperity is not because we won the battle or something like that. We have become the kings now. It is because this land is marked by your lotus feet. Soon as your feet touches, there's all prosperity comes. And this is actually very practical. We have seen many, many times like our temples, many of our temples, including like Bangalore temple is a big temple. Way back, like some 20, 30, 40 years back, 30 years back maybe, or maybe more. So that place was like outskirt of the city of Bangalore, and nothing was there actually. And it was a deserted land on a small hillock. And then devotee decided to build the temple there. Temple was built, and the Lord came there. As soon as Krishna came to that land, now you go and see that place. It's the most happening place, one of the most happening places in the Bangalore city. So all prosperity, everything comes as soon as Lord comes. Everything comes. Right. So that is the touch of the feet of the Lord. Lord's deities in the form of the deity. Last time we are talking about the Padasena, Archanam, right? The deity worship. So the Lord is actually Sakshat Lord in the form of the deity. So this Kunti Maharani is glorifying the Lord in prosperity. Ime janapada das bhakvasadi virudah manadri nadi udanvanto he edantata vikshitai. Say all this village are flourishing in all respects, and all these herbs and the grains are everything is abundance. Trees are full of fruits, rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the ocean of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. So one should understand when there is a prosperity in our life in terms of whatever money, power, position, then one should be very, very grateful. One should understand this is all by the mercy of the Lord, glance of the Lord. The Lord has just showed the mercy, and that is how I have. So one should be grateful in prosperity. Also, one should be grateful not only in prosperity, but in adversity also. It's easy to be grateful in prosperity, but in adversity, start challenging the Lord, questioning the Lord himself. I've been chanting, I've been going to temple. Why this problem in my life? No, one should be grateful. One should understand that if Lord is putting me in some kind of adverse situation, some challenging situation, Lord might be having something for me here. He might want to give me something better. That is why he's taking away whatever is taking away, right? So one should understand, and that is the right consciousness which our acharyas teaches. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, he explains one verse, he quotes, he says, Mahavipattau samsare Yasmaret Madhusudana, Tasya Vipatti Sampattau. So he says, Mahavipatti Sansare. In this world, in the Sansar, when you face Mahavipatti, not Vipatti, Vipatti means adversity, some challenging situation, Mahavipatti, a great challenge, adversity in your life. If that challenge helps you, Yasmaret Madhusudana. In that kind of a challenging situation, if you are able to remember the Lord, if you are able to go and pray to the Lord, surrender to the Lord, turn toward the Lord, then he says, Tash Vipattau Sampatti. That is not a Vipatti. It is actually what sees like, oh no, this is a problem. It is not a problem. It is a favor of God. Because that problem made you to take the shelter of the Lord. So that is the way of looking at. It's a different perspective and one should understand. So if you have that perspective, you can be very, very grateful in the adverse situation also. Lord, thank you for putting me in this. I can now constantly, naturally, that remembrance is coming. My dear Lord, please help me. Earlier we don't remember, right? दुख में सिमरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई. जो सुख में सिमरन करे, तो दुख काहे को होय. So when there is adverse situation, everybody just go to the Lord and pray and remember. But sukh mein kare na koy. When everything is good, we tend to forget the Lord. But jo sukh mein simran kare, one who is always remembering the Lord, then there is no dukh. Why there is no dukh? Does it mean that there is no problem? No, there will be problem. But that problem is not seen as a dukkha. Ma vipattau samsare yasmarit madhusudana. I still remember the Lord. So the so-called dukh is also not dukh. So for a devotee who is always remembering the Lord, there is no dukh in their life actually. There is no situation which is seen as a problem. Because every situation they see as an opportunity to remember the Lord, to surrender to the Lord, to become dependent on the Lord. So that is what is the perspective that we learn from the scriptures like Gita and Bhagavatam. Right. So we're talking about being grateful. So be grateful in prosperity, be grateful in adversity, be grateful in intervention. When there's some intervention, you will see. We'll see many times. So just be grateful. You planned something and then some other plan just your plan didn't work out and it was a completely different plan. You should understand Lord's intervention is there. Just praying to the Lord that please, get me this lottery. Right, something like that, but I didn't get that. And I got something else. So Lord intervenes sometime in devotee's life. So one should be very, very grateful. So one should not become ignorant like that. One time this person, it's a funny story that he was going and he was in utter need of some money. And he used to buy some lottery tickets. He was going and buying the lottery tickets, going to the Lord. Please, Lord, if I don't get this lottery, my life will be spoiled and ruined. There's no other hope. This is the last thing, the last bit of money I spent on getting this lottery ticket. And this is like $100,000 lottery, something. If I get this, please help me. And I promise you, if I get this 50%, I'll donate to you. I'll give it to you. So he was very hopeful. And then the result came, the lottery was opened. And fortunately or unfortunately, what happens? He got the lottery, but he did not get the first prize, which was $100,000. But he got the second prize, which was $50,000. And then he goes to the Lord next day. Say, Lord, you are very chalu. You kept your share already. So, like that. So one should be grateful in all kinds of situations. Some intervention happens. Lord didn't give you this, gave something else. That's okay. That's fine. So like that. So grateful in and prosperity, grateful in adversity, grateful in intervention, and also Lord gives us some remembrance sometime. One should be grateful because to get the remembrance of the Lord is the rarest thing in this world. You can get a lot of things. To get the remembrance of the Lord, something suddenly happens, some problem happens, and you remember the Lord, or some situation happens and you remember the Lord. Should be grateful the Lord. Thank you for giving me this remembrance. Actually, Prabhupada in one place he explains that how one should pray to the Lord, what one should pray to the Lord. We will be coming to that part also, but I'm talking about this remembrance. So Prabhupada says that one should pray to the Lord that, my dear Lord, that please bless me that I never forget you. And I'm prone to forget you. But please bless me that in whatever situation, I should never forget you. So getting that remembrance of the Lord is a very rare thing in this world. So if you are able to remember the Lord, that also you should be grateful. Lord, thank you for, give me that remembrance. Otherwise, we just get lost. Something happens and he says you go and take shelter of so many other things, so many other people, and you forget the Lord. Some problem comes. So if you are able to remember, then one should be grateful. So this is about Danya Bodhika. So we're talking about the prayers. Again, I'm just giving the quick summary. So the prayers, the three part of the prayers is like one is Samprarthanika prayers, basically glorifying the Lord. In four ways we can glorify the Lord: His name, His form, His qualities, and His pastimes. And the second part is Dhanabodhika. Dhanabodhika means that taking that humble stand and being grateful and expressing that I'm insignificant. And in that mood, you go and submit yourself. And that actually, with that humility, Lord's heart is melted, right? And when Lord's heart is melted, then He's ready to shower His blessings. Then you ask at the right time, right? So now you're ready to receive the blessings. And that third thing is called Lalasa Mai. Lalasa means that asking, benediction, the request, what do you want? People think prayers means only go and ask. They directly jump onto the third part. Two part they don't know, only that we have to glorify. We have to talk about myself also. First you talk about the Lord. Lord, you are great. And talk about yourself. I'm useless fellow. I'm insignificant. I have nothing, no qualification. That is why I'm here. Please bless me. That is the qualification. Right? But people, they bypass these two steps, directly jump on the third only. They go with a long list. I want this. And then they expect the Lordship. So that is what we are learning here. So the third part is Lalasamai. Now, question is what we should ask from the Lord. Very, very important. Because we all are used to asking something or other from the Lord. Whenever we go to the temple, this problem, that problem, knee pain, stomach ache, some other problem, financial issues, or some or other, something we keep asking. But we learn now from the scriptures what we should ask. Again, we'll talk about the 4 items. What we should ask is number 1 says that sadhu sangha sarva shastra koy lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. That association of devotees. Now this is something very, very rare in this world. You don't find the right association of devotees where there's a real bona fide genuine Krishna Katha happens. There is true knowledge is being imparted. Even so-called spiritual groups in this modern age, unfortunately, that is the symptom of Kali Yuga. So-called spiritual groups also you go, and then also they do something. There's no real stuff. Something we'll talk about. Some breathing, some exercising, something. There's nothing spiritual about all of those things. It is okay for your good health and something. Do some breathing, do some exercise, do some charity, which is great to do. We are not against all that, but there's nothing real spiritual about that. So getting a association, asking what we are asking, ask a association of devotees, sadhu sang, satsang, genuine satsang, genuine sadhu sang, where the real knowledge is being discussed and imparted from the bona fide sources, from the bona fide parampara. Otherwise, in this modern age, especially, on the name of religion, on the name of so-called spiritual practices, some drama is going on. People are not getting benefited. They're interested still in some materialistic things. So this association is very, very important, right? And that is how what we should pray, that my dear Lord. Actually, one of the verse Bhagavatam explains that who is the fortunate person in this world. It is explained who is the fortunate person is the one who get the association of devotees. Who is more fortunate? Next level. More fortunate is the person one who get the chance to hear about Krishna Katha in the association of devotees. He is more fortunate. So it's not about just going to some association, which is a good fortune. But after going there, hearing about Krishna is more fortunate person. And who is the most fortunate person? That verse explains that one who get the chance to go in the association of devotees and hear Krishna Katha every day. He is the most fortunate person. And that is why Srila Prabhupada has established the system of Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Daily, the devotees, they discuss the Krishna Katha from, we read and, and the devotees give the discourses on Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, creating an opportunity to make the person most fortunate. And devotee association, you get to hear Krishna Katha every day. And that is how Prabhupada has established every day, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. So one should ask for this kind of association. And this is what our acharyas are praying actually. One of the great acharya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in our Guru Sishya Parampara, he write a song, and in the song he says, Kit Janma How Tabadu Vadas. He says that if I had to become like an insect in next life, I prefer to become an insect in a house of a devotee. If that give me the chance to associate with the devotees, then I'm ready to become a kit. Kit means a kida, insect. Rather than if you make me Brahma, who like the topmost person in the entire creation, Bahimukha as. He says, if I turn away from Krishna, and then you offer me Brahma's position, then I'll prefer to be the insect in the association of devotees. That is their aspiration. So that is what is the prayer that one should ask, that association of a devotee. Okay, now the second item what we should ask is this. What we should ask? I think I should ask people that what they should ask. Okay, so people have some ideas that what you should be asking, can put in the chat if you have some better ideas. What we should ask from the Lord. Those who are joining online, put in the chat something, or those who are in person, you can also say something. What you should ask? I already gave the hint. Krishna Bhakti. Okay, somebody is saying, bless us that we will never forget Lord Krishna. Yes, so that's a nice ask. Seva, yes, one should ask for the seva to remember in all circumstances. So these are all real prayers actually. So in the name of prayers, what's going on and how we are educated, everything is messed up. What we ask, it is just like Prabhupada gives this story. That one old lady, she was used to work like labor work. And then she was one time carrying the big load of, the sticks on the head, old lady. And then suddenly, something happened and all the sticks that fell off from the head. It was a heavy stick. Somehow she managed to put on the head. And as soon as it fell off, and she said, "Oh God," suddenly God appears there. And she was like taken aback. Oh my God, God is here. And God asked, "Okay, what do you want?" Say, "Oh, thank you for coming and for my help. Can you put that sticks on my head?" So that is what exactly, that is how we pray. When we go to the temple, we are already burdened in this material world. This problem, that problem, my family, my job, my this thing, my health, all this materialistic thing. And when we go to the Lord, what do you say? Lord, can you give me another job? Can you give me another wife or another husband? Something, like that people ask. It is just like you're asking the same burden put on my head again. You can ask, Lord, just remove this burden only. That is how people pray. So we are learning, we are changing our perception that what to ask from the Lord. Okay, so somebody said, Nam Sudharas, Gao Krishna Ras, Rakho Vachana Manamora. Yes, that is the beautiful prayer that one can offer to the Lord. So that is how we are learning. So one thing is we understood is we should ask for the association. Then all these things are possible in the association only. Because the kind of association you have, that influences your consciousness. If you go in association of karmis, like all materialistic people, the whole day they'll be talking about this money, this job, that job, some share, something, something. Then what desire you will have in your heart? All those things. And when you come in front of the Lord, you'll ask, Lord, I just bought some shares, maybe just do something about that. Some rubbish thing will end up asking. So that is why this association is the first key thing that we should ask. Second thing that we should ask is taste for hearing. That we hear, we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now we do it, most of us, and most of the time, we do it as a ritual, as a daily duty kind of a thing, which is also a great thing to do. It is millions times better than those who are not doing that. But there can be something even better and the best, which is we develop the taste. Then when you chant Hare Krishna, you should have the taste to hear that, right? Krishna's name, Krishna's Leela, Krishna Katha, some class is going on. One should be very eager. One should have the taste. Oh, I want to hear more about Gita, about Bhagavatam, about something about Krishna. You develop the taste. So one should pray that, my dear Lord, that I don't have any taste for hearing. And who is praying like this? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, but by his own example, teaching us that what and how one should pray, what one should ask. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrar Pita Niyamita Smaranayana Kala Eta Drishi Tava Bhagwan Mamabi Durdavam Idrasham Nanuragaha. Says, my dear Lord, your name, so powerful, you invested all this thing, your potencies, but na anuraga. For me, there's no attachment, there's no taste in chanting. And what is the situation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He's chanting 24 hours. And he's saying that I have no taste. What is our situation? We have nothing. In the 16 rounds also, when we chant, we think of the whole world at that time only. And in the end, we rotate the mala, right? So that is not chanting. Most of the time it is counting. 1 ho gaya, 2 ho gaya, 16 ho gaya, finish, done. And we feel like accomplished. My one round is done, which is great. I'm not saying that these are wrong things, but we're talking about something higher, right? So one should try to develop the taste for hearing. Like Rupa Goswami is the best example. Rupa Goswami, what he prays? He prays to the Lord that, my dear Lord, this one tongue and 2 years are not enough to relish the nectar of your holy name. How much I can chant with one tongue? Only 24 hours. That much only I can chant. And how much I can hear from 2 years with 2 years. There's so much nectar in these two syllables, Krish and Na. These two syllables I don't know. I cannot measure, I cannot calculate that how much nectar is there in these two syllables. And with one tongue and 2 years, how much I can relish. So my prayer to you is, give me the millions of tongues, millions of ears. That is what is prayer. Because he already tasting and developed the taste for hearing. So one should aspire. If we can develop the taste for hearing Krishna Katha, and all this worldly Katha will just vanish from our life. And more we are prone to hear this Gramya Katha, this worldly Katha, the things of this world, then we are getting more prone to, being more anxious. Because this world is full of all those kind of news. This problem, that problem, something. It's all about that only. Some violence and there's nothing good actually. Most of the things are like that, right? So that is why we should develop the taste for hearing a little bit. Otherwise, invariably we'll be just tuning into some news channels, what is happening in politics, what is happening in sports, what is happening in Hollywood, Bollywood, and you hear that. Sometimes people, when they're a little tired and all that, say, okay, let me just watch some news, let me see something on YouTube. People think that I'll feel a little relaxed after watching this. But the reality is, after watching all that rubbish stuff, you become more anxious. You are already in problem. And then you hear somebody killed someone, somebody raped someone. And that is the news is all about around the world. You say, my God, what is going on? I had to handle my own problems and these people, what they're doing outside in the world. So instead of developing the taste for all that, one should try to develop the taste for Krishna Katha. And Krishna Katha has the power to remove your anxieties immediately. And you can experience that. You try to practice it and you experience whenever you feel little anxious or something, just simple thing is that you start chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Feel relieved. If you can read, open the book, if your mind supports you that time. Sometimes when you are too much of tension, anxiety, when not focus on reading, tune into some lecture like this. Everything is recorded. Take the advantage of technology. Let go. Listen some Prabhupada lecture, some other devotee's lecture, whatever you like, and start listening. Put your mind in focus, and then you'll see that you'll feel so relieved in just few minutes. That is the power. So we had to develop the taste. So that is the second item that you can ask. So association, we ask for the taste for hearing. And the third item, as already somebody said, seva we should ask. Instead of taking seva from the Lord, Lord, give me this, give me that. Lord is not a servant. We are the servant of the Lord. That is what is our position. Right? Jivara Sarupa Nitya Krishna Das. We are eternally the servant of the Lord. So we should be eager to render the service of the Lord and ask service of the Lord. It's a beautiful prayer by uh, Vritrasur. He's one of the demon, but he was a great devotee actually. Externally he was demon. His consciousness was great devotee, like in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Lord comes and he asks from the Lord. Actually, he says, Hare Tava Pada Ekamula Dasa Nudasa Bhavisatmi Bhuyaha Manasmareda Jubader Gunamste Pranita Vakarma Karotu Kayaha. So he's praying that, my dear Lord, that if I had to take birth in this world, then I want to take the birth as Dasa Dasa Nudasa. And I can become the servant, eternal servant, and servant of your servant who has taken the shelter of your lotus feet, and I can render some service. So that is what he is asking. Nanaka prashtam, na chiparameshtam, na rasadhipatyam, na sarvabhaumam, na rasadhipatyam. Says, I don't want to become the king of this world. If you want to make me the king of the heavenly planet or even the Brahmalok, I don't want. If that benediction brings forgetfulness of yours, I don't want all those things. So like that, one should ask the seva. And what I want is your seva. So association, in that association, taste for hearing, not association, you go and talk about all these worldly things only. Prabhuji, this problem happened, Mataji, that problem happened, my neighbor is like that, my child doesn't listen to me, my mother-in-law is like very this thing, something. That is not the idea of association. Association means Krishna Katha and taste in Krishna Katha. And then after that, you should be fired up that, okay, what seva I can do now? So that is the third item that we can ask. And also the fourth item, very, very important item is purity of intention. And we should pray to the Lord, and I want purity of intention. You want to do something, but sometime if your intentions are not pure, then what happens? You want to do seva, but in turn, what you want? You want some recognition. Oh, you're such a great devotee, so much seva you're doing in the temple. Wow. Clapping. Something, puja, pratishtha, labh. So one should be very pure in intention that I want to do the seva just to please the Lord, nothing I want in done. So there has to be the purity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam, va jagdish kamahe. Mam janmani janmanishwari bhavtat bhaktir ahetu gitvi. I don't want dhanam, janam, sundarim, kavitam, glorification, fan following. People should say, oh, you're a great devotee, you're a wonderful devotee. So that is why that gives me the drive to do more and more service, because people will glorify me, they'll recognize me. No, that is not the idea. There has to be purity in intention. And I want to just purely, selflessly want to serve the Lord and the devotees. So it is very rare to find all those things. So we should pray for that. Lord has to bless us. Otherwise, invariably, we start seeking something. It may not be necessarily some gross monetary benefits, but we see some subtle, commissions. Oh, I am such an important donor in your temple. I gave so much donation. So when some special festival is there, you should call me in front and glorify me, take my picture, put my name, something like that. So there is no purity in intention. And your seva is done while you're asking something. And these things comes, unless we come to that level, we don't know that those anarthas are there or not. Now we might feel, oh, no, why we should ask all those things? We understand we should not ask. But that is how those anarthas are sitting within. When you reach to that level, then suddenly there's something surface up. Unless you are done something significant, you will never aspire that somebody should recognize me, somebody should appreciate me, somebody should glorify me. You will never aspire because you have not done anything. Once you've done something significant, and then you see that, oh, nobody is recognizing my seva. I gave so much donation, so much time, so much profit I brought to the temple. What is going on? I'm not interested. I'll go to some other temple. It happens with the people. So there has to be the purity of intention, and that one should ask from the Lord, right? So that is what we discussed. Now, I explained so many things, and then I know that most of the things people might have already forgotten. And if not everything, this is what happens. So you say, no, so many things, how will remember what to ask, what to not ask, all of this. Now, how to simplify the whole discussion? Is there any one-line summary of this? Yes, there is a one-line summary. Just 1 minute, I'll just summarize the whole thing, and then I'll give you one-line summary of this, what we discussed. So we discussed about these prayers. the three different levels. Samprarthanika means basically glorifying the Lord. 4 different ways you can glorify the Lord. Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela. And then second step is Dhanya Bodhika. You become humble and grateful to the Lord. And that is the way. And you can be grateful in prosperity, in adversity, and in intervention and in remembrance of the Lord. And the third item is Lalasamai, that you request, you ask something. What you ask for association, you ask for the taste, for hearing, and third item, seva. Fourth item is purity of intention. Now, how to do all this? How to put it in practice? That is important. Nice to hear all these concepts. How to put. So I'll conclude with this, that we are very extremely, actually, we are extremely fortunate that we got all these items to practice in a very simplified way. All these things are included in chanting of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is another kind of prayer. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you go deep down into this understanding, the meaning of this Hare Krishna mantra, which is also the prayer, then you will see all the three aspects are covered in that. That you're glorifying Lord's name, Hare Krishna. Krishna means you are all opulence and all that. You're glorifying the Lord. And also there is a mood, and I am insignificant. And Prabhupada explained the meaning of that Hare Krishna mantra is that, my dear Lord, please kindly engage me in the service of your lotus feet. So everything is included in just by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Right. So that is what is the compact, the package is given. Power packed prayer is chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. And Prabhupada gives us some guidelines that how one should chant the prayer, how one should chant Hare Krishna mantra. So Prabhupada explains one should chant Hare Krishna mantra like a helpless cry of a child. That how the child is in a helpless situation, like small babies when they suddenly wake up from their sleep and they don't see the mother around, start crying, little something they'll do. Initially, they do just a little bit. They say, no, mother is coming. Mother already heard in the kitchen. Mother says, okay, no problem. I'll just finish my cooking and go. And then the child realizes that, oh, mother is not coming. Then he start making a little louder. And then still mother doesn't come because mother is still trying to finish. Okay, I'll go just in a minute or something like that. And then child start crying from his heart. And all that. When he does that kind of a crying, then mother forgets everything. All cooking, whatever busy thing she might be doing. She leaves everything and go and attend the child. So that is what should be our call for the Lord when we chant Hare Krishna. So we should call out the Lord in the mood of a helpless cry of a child. Lord, I want you. Otherwise, Lord says, little bit say, Lord, I want you, but I want TV, I want money, I want this. Lord says, okay, you play with all these toys. I'll come later. But he says, I don't want anything. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, na kavitam, nothing of this world I want. I want only you. Toi me ananya vishya, mati madhu pate sakrat, pratim udvata andha, gange bhogam udhanvati. Kunti Maharani says that, my dear Lord, I pray at your lotus feet, Toi me ananya vishya, that my attention should be drawn unto you, like the Ganga is flowing toward the ocean constantly. So my attention should be at your lotus feet constantly. So the mood of that prayer should be like a helpless cry of a helpless child. Right. So that is what it is. Actually, I'll end with this story. It's a beautiful story that when we cry like this, like a utter need, the helpless cry of a child. So one time when it is from the Mahabharata, that when this Draupadi Chiraran was happening, so what happens? We know that story, that how Draupadi was trying to going to the different people, please help me, like that. And then nobody could help. And then she was holding the sari with her hand and under the teeth. She thought, okay, I had to protect myself and all of that. So when all this was happening, Lord Krishna was sitting in Dwarika with Rukmani, and Lord knows everything. I didn't see that my devotee is in danger. I had to go and help. But and Lord was talking to Rukmani and saying that, how would I reach there so far? She is in need of my help. So then Rukmani was suggesting that, oh, you have your carrier, your car, Garuda, super fast. So go on Garuda. And then Lord was in a little jovial mood and he's saying, no, this Garuda is not actually really fast. And he was giving some story that one time I was going on Garuda and I had to reach somewhere urgently. And I was telling this Garuda, go fast, go fast, go fast. He couldn't go fast and he fainted. And then I had to just manage. I had to carry Garuda on my shoulder. So this Garuda is not very reliable. And when Lord was talking all this, suddenly it disappeared. Right. And then he goes, and then we know that how Lord supplied unlimited sari to Draupadi, and Draupadi was saved like that, and Lord came back. And then again, Rukmani was talking that, where did you disappear? Say, no, Draupadi was in need. And, I had to go and save her. I had to protect her. So he says, but how did you go? Garuda was here only. How did you go so fast? Lord says that the fastest medium for me to travel is the tears of my devotee. When they cry out in that utter need and there is a tears, though tears are the actually vehicle, the fastest vehicle, which immediately brings me there. So when I saw that Draupadi was crying out of that helpless situation, then immediately I went and then helped. So that is what should be the mood when we pray. It should not be casual. In one hand, mobile, another hand, japa mala. So either chanting is finished, either some videos are also finished, some messaging also finished, some mail checking also happened. That is not the way. So we should learn that how we should pray. So this is a way to pray this. Okay, so these were some of the thoughts. There are many prayers. Now, simple thing is we don't know so much how to pray, what to say. Then we read the scriptures, you read those verses, beautiful prayers, beautiful mood is captured in that. So you just learn those. Or if you can't memorize, just open the book and read from the book. Some prayers from Gita, Bhagavatam, some verses, glorify the Lord, ask something from the Lord. The Kunti Maharani prayers, beautiful prayers. And Prabhupada was very fond of those prayers actually. Right? She was praying. Vipada santuta shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavado darshanam yashat punar bhav darshanam. She's saying that, my dear Lord, put me, I pray at your lotus feet. May those calamity happen again and again in my life. All those problems. And who can pray like this? Of course, we cannot imitate artificially. We are scared that, oh, if I ask, what if Lord listen my prayers and then he sanction, then there will be another problem. So of course, we cannot artificially imitate, but these are the level of prayers, the mood. How so many times people wonder like how somebody can pray like that, give me the problems. Does it make sense that somebody go and ask and give me more and more problems? Logically, it doesn't make sense. I was thinking this, and I thought how somebody can come to that level of praying like that, oh Lord, give me more problems. Why you would ask more problems? But there is a possibility. You can ask that. I'll explain you the meaning of this prayer through this example. Say there was this one boy who was playing cricket and he got hit. He got injured while playing. So immediately his friends rushed toward the hospital and he was hospitalized. They took him in the hospital. And then few days he has to remain in the hospital. So then what happened? There was a nurse who was taking care of this boy. She was very loving and very affectionate. And she was taking really nice care of this boy. And then, she took nice care. And after that, he got a little better. Then he came out. And then when he came out, he was actually, then they found, his friends found, he was like an orphan. He didn't have the mother or father at home, like an orphan. So he started to miss that nurse. It was so nice. She was so loving. She was so caring. She was so motherly and all of that because he never experienced all of that. So now he came out from that problem or from that diseased situation, but he was missing out. So he was praying that today again, when I'm playing cricket, I pray that I should get hurt again and get hospitalized. So I'll experience that same motherly affection from that same nurse. So it is possible. It is possible when we understand that Lord, that how loving and caring He is, the Mata, Pita, everything. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Prana. When we understand that Krishna is the most loving mother, most caring father, He is everything, He is the life. When we are on that level, then you say, okay, I want Krishna. And how I remember Krishna more? Some hit has to happen. That hit makes me to remember Krishna more and I want to go there. So in that mood, Kunti Maharani prays like that. So like that, this beautiful prayers, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, and then Kunti Maharani, many more things can be discussed here. But just my eyes are than the time, and not my eyes, but many other eyes also. So I want to be a little cautious about that. Okay, more things can be discussed about that. So maybe I'll discuss. So now last question, which I'll not answer today, and this maybe can be a kind of assignment for everyone. So my question is to everyone, those who are here: does our prayers are answered, or it is some kind of a psychological phenomena that you pray and you feel a little relieved? But does really some God sitting somewhere up in the sky, he answers your prayers? You ask. So I'll just stop with this question. Let me see that what are the answers. Maybe in the next class, we'll open a discussion with this question and some answers. So please meditate on this question and come up with some answers. I have explained answer already I've given in my previous sessions, but let me see that. So question is, does our prayers are really answered? Okay. Okay. So we'll pause here for today's discussion. Let me see if anybody's any quick question or any comment. Okay, I see one question here. And others are the question you can put in the chat, and those who are in person, you can also ask. So question is here. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you please elaborate a little more about another sitting inside will come out? What does it mean exactly? Okay, and that's a nice topic to discuss. Yes, actually, our acharyas, they're like the spiritual scientist. They know the entire science of the process of Krishna consciousness. So, like the scientist can explain you, if you mix this, you put this, and then this kind of a foam will come out, this kind of a smell will come out. So, like that, our Acharya has explained, there are six kind of weeds, they call it the weeds, which has to be uprooted. And it is called Puja Pratishtha Lava and Jeev Himsa Kutinati. And there's one more item. So they've explained these are six weeds, six anarthas, which are sitting in your heart, and at one point in time they might come up. So one should be one who's interested. It is just like when you try to, grow some crops. So you put a seed and you start watering. So along with the main crop, there's some weeds also comes. So now, along with watering daily the main crop, another duty of a farmer is that he has to uproot the weeds. And then what happens? The water, these weeds take the water and they start growing up and they eat up the main plant. So in the similarly, we are all every day watering this uh, plant of our Bhakti Lata beach, which we have got. How we are watering by chanting, by doing seva, by hearing, and all of that. But if we are not careful to uproot those weeds, Puja Pratishtha Lava, Kutinadi, Jeev Himsa, and anybody remembers what was the sixth one? Mm, Nishiddha Achar. That is the sixth one. I'll explain maybe in some other session. We'll take up that. We'll understand that. So these are all six weeds have been explained by the acharyas. So one should be a little on guard, watchful. Okay. Just briefly explain. Maybe some other time we'll talk in detail. Any other question or any other comment? Anyone? Okay. So we'll stop with this and let us just quickly, as I said, that what we have discussed can be practiced by chanting this Hare Krishna mantra. So we'll all chant, and those who are not chanting, please take up this process, daily chant. Those who are already chanting, increase your chanting. Those who already think that I'm chanting enough, increase number of rounds.